This is the Defensor. It's pretty much an M390 kind of a blade. It's a very interesting looking knife. I could call it skeletonized knife basically. The whole entire thing looks really interesting. And it's one of those defensors. It's pretty much a defensive knife that if you are in the outback in the middle of nowhere, it's a knife that has no plastic molding, all metal, and pretty much it's one of those knives that people keep on themselves for a self-defense kind of a purpose, more of like a blade that you just take out pretty much if you're in the woods in the middle of nowhere. This is the kind of a clip point blade that you have on you. It's pretty much like maybe like a neck knife or a knife that is put in your boot strap pretty much, and then when you take it out, it's pretty much a pointing blade kind of a knife. It is kind of a self-defense kind of a blade of last resort. It's pretty much the kind of blade, that's what it is. It has its really good, I mean, if you're a bushwhacker or somebody who is in a wild all the time, and let's say a wild animal like kind of like jumps at you or something like that, it will be something that you need a fixed blade or like fast access, or if you're down in the river, you're hunting, this is something that you might need in a self-defense situation. Or if you want to go ahead and spell some fish with this, you might actually try to stab a fish inside the water. It's kind of like this interesting, very specialized kind of a blade to this knife. It's really solid steel chunk of metal, and it comes in this clip over here. It's really long. It looks like a long knife, but it's not, because this whole entire thing, you have to understand that you are not using most of it. It's not that long. The knife itself is legal size. It's less than 3 inches. It's 2.5 of an inch. The actual blade level of this is very tiny. It's like really small. Like right here, we have a small blade on this side and it's spear point. But the top of it is not a spear. The top of it is not the cutting surface. The cutting surface is in the bottom, and over here where we have a small surrogate edge for it, which means that it's easy sharpenable and easy to use at the same exact time as you're grabbing it. You're grabbing it just like this, and then you're using a very small surface level of this knife or whatever you're going to be using it for. But it's also intended as a fast draw. And what I mean by fast draw is like if you're in the woods in the middle of nowhere and you need to just grab something to use as a self-defense of last resort, say a wild animal, just like a puma jumps at you or something in the middle of like South American woods or something, in Africa, like a lion, I don't know, something like huge, something big that jumps at you. You just need fast access to a blade and just go ahead and use it for self-defense purpose. This is the kind of a blade that might be used for that, because it's easy for you to take it out. It's fixed blade, and it's only to use it for very, very specific use for it. Now, I'm not an expert at this kind of a blade because I almost never would use something like this, but it's kind of cool. If you're like a knife collector, it's an interesting design to the actual knife itself. It's a really interesting kind of a blade to it. The whole entire surface level of the blade. Then we have this whole entire place that it goes into. It looks like a really formidable weapon, but when you take it out, it's just like such a miniature knife. It's also a place for it that you can go ahead and strap this on. Pretty much you're strapping it on a belt or something really that has, it's kind of a Ulti Clip. That's the kind of a clip that this actually uses, and this is the first time I ever seen an Ulti Clip being used in a knife before, so this is really interesting. And let's go ahead and check it out a little bit up more close so you can see how this thing looks like. And over here you can definitely tell that this is not such a big knife. It just looks really intimidating as you look at the entire box over here, because you might think, oh wow, this thing is huge. But as you take this out, this thing is just really small knife. It's a really small knife inside a very big, deep area that it's stored in. Then you take it out, and it's really slickly stuck in here. And then, of course, as you grab it out, taking the whole entire thing out, and then you're taking actual part of it out, and then you see this thing is small. This thing is really a small knife, and you're just wondering, what exactly are you gonna use this for? And if you're a collector, like I said, this thing is an interesting knife for you to have. There is a very specialized use for it. It's like one of those knives that has really specific use for it. And beyond that, there is not much other use for it at all. So, like I said, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you're bushwhacking, or you're doing certain things, and you need like a survivalist kind of a knife that doesn't have any plastic, it's all metal, and you're going right for something that you need. It's really a stabbing kind of a knife for fish. I would say if you're adding this up to, like for example, if you're in the middle of the woods and you need to go hunting, this thing can actually work, because you can tie this up to an actual wood stick and throw it at something and go ahead and try to hunt with it. You can also go ahead and hunt fish with this too, because either you're doing it by hand, it's going to take you a while to try to accidentally just go ahead and put this inside a fish, or you can go ahead and throw it right in the water. Hopefully it goes and like finds its target, some kind of a fish like that. Or if you have a long stick, you go and tie it to the rope with a stick, and there was plenty of like specific uses for it. It's just, I'm just trying to find like what kind of ideal use something like that will be in general. But altogether, this is an interesting kind of a knife that certain people are gonna really like it, to add it to their collection, and other people might be thinking this is a great knife just to have, because you just never know when you need something like this. If you're in the middle of nowhere, like a fixed blade that is not too expensive, that is easy for you to access, and that's one of the reasons why this thing is good, is just like easily grabbed, take it out. It takes you only a few seconds to get this thing out of here, which means that if you have a few seconds and you need to get something out and use it, that's how quick of a draw that you have. This is why fixed blades are such fast EDC knives. They are quick to draw and quick to be used in case you need this, and this would do its job for whatever purpose that you're getting it for. And do I recommend something like this? Like I said, it's a very specialized knife. There are specific uses for this, and you have to figure out, because you really need something exactly this size and this use. Remember, the usable space of this knife is like so small. It's only 2.5 of an inch right here. So you have to really think about like what exactly is the purpose of this specific knife in your collection or for EDC use as well.